Hello, welcome back to the channel, and if you are watching this video then you're already considering the MG5. This B segment sedan is definitely different from all the other B segment sedans out there, and I've pretty much lived with it for a week and I've just done everything with it: grocery run, school run, and even date night. So is this a viable option for you? Well, I'm Adam Aubrey and let's get into it. Let's go. Let's start off with the design. This car honestly is a bit of a showstopper. That bold grille, sleek headlights. We can tell that MG really wanted this car to stand out. It's definitely got a sporty stance. It's also got that something different vibe going for it. Now, in a segment where often the design is like playing it safe, the MG5 is definitely not one of those. It's very different with that really long coupe shape at the back. Now, if you're looking for a car that really wants to turn heads and you're just not gonna accept average, then the MG5 will definitely make you and other people turn heads. The interior is not bad either. MG's definitely kept it stylish and modern. You've got a digital meter cluster, an infotainment system that's quite wide, intuitive. It's got Android Auto, Apple CarPlay. It is wired, but it's okay. I like the shortcut buttons here, so not everything is like an infotainment kind of operation. Also, there's a sunroof. Yes, this is a bit of a luxury rather than a necessity, but it does let more light into the cabin. Also, the seats are very nice, and I pretty much like how the design of the interior is. Yes, there are materials that kind of like feel cheap when you get closer to it, but generally I like the combination of materials here because it feels like it's going to last a long time. Okay, the infotainment system is quite intuitive. I mean, all these buttons here, these shortcuts are quite good. I don't like how a lot of stuff these days, you're gonna have to control things from here. So if you want the aircon, press this button. If you want home, you press this button, and you pretty much figure it out in 5 minutes. To put Android Auto or Apple CarPlay, you just need a wired connection here, and it becomes apparent here and your map. And the resolution is not the highest, not the crispest, and the speed is not so fast, but I think you're gonna be all right at this price point. At least you've got all of this: Android Auto, Apple CarPlay. It's definitely not luxury, but it is more practical and well thought out, and I actually like the seats very much. Spirited drives, it does keep you in place, and it's really comfortable. And when I want to drive, relax, like, you know, just one hand resting on the armrest, I find this position very good. But it's not all about design, because MG has ticked off practicality too. The rear seats in particular has a lot of legroom and a lot of space. Yes, this roofline might cut into people's head a little bit if you are tall, but I think generally this room here at the back is quite spacious. You've got aircon vent down here and you've got a USB-A. Okay, that's better than nothing. The seats anyway, yeah, they're not so upright, so I think long journeys you're gonna be happy here. Kids will definitely be happy back here. So what about the boot? You buy a sedan because one of the things about a sedan is the boot is going to be large. Well, MG have got that box ticked too. Yes, it's very deep, it's quite spacious, and you should have no problem filling in your prams, luggages, and stuff like that. Yes, the opening is a bit small and it's a bit tight to get in, but once you organize yourself, you're going to get a lot of stuff in quite easily, and yeah, it's quite a big boot. Here's a bonus, okay? MG is throwing in a 7-year warranty for the powertrain. Now, that's not something that you get in this segment or even at this price point. I mean, like, if you get a 7-year loan, you're pretty much headache-free for 7 years, right? That's something definitely worth considering when you buy a car, right? Okay, now let's move on to servicing costs. Another worry that people might have. Ever wondered what it costs to keep the MG5 running smoothly for 5 years? Well, here's the scoop. Over 5 years, the MG5 servicing costs come out to around RM 4,829 ringgit and 50 cent, or roughly RM 965 ringgit 90 cent per year. But you know what? It's really not that far off from our local favorite, the Proton S70. Now, what's the S70 servicing cost? Well, the total RM 4,784 ringgit 94 cent, just about 44 ringgit cheaper than the MG5. And if you're asking why compare it to the Proton S70, well, the S70 has been cheekily stacked up against the MG5, so it's only fair we dive into the cost too. Both have their pricier service in the 4th year, but the MG5 still averages just around RM 1,000 ringgit a year. So in the end, keeping an MG5 on the road is pretty reasonable, even when put up against a national brand like Proton. The MG5 comes with a 1.5-litre naturally aspirated engine with 114 horsepower and 150 Newton meters of torque. That engine is mated to a CVT transmission with an 8-speed virtual gear ratio thingy-majiggy. That's pretty much on par with like a lot of our cars in this segment, like the Honda Cities and the Toyota Vios's. But what does it actually feel like to drive? Is it perky? Is it okay? Is it fuel efficient? Let's get in the car and give an explanation. Alright, let's get into the driving bit. So, let's start off with the steering. It is quite light. Yeah, you can change it here, but even at the heavier setting, it is still quite light. Yes, this might not be for everyone that likes that heavier setup, but I think people who drive in the city, day-to-day driving, this is quite nice. I like actually the light steering because it's just not a pain to like maneuver in tight spots and stuff like that. Okay, so what about the engine? Has it got enough performance? Well, here's the thing, right? At low speeds, it kind of feels bogged down often. I mean, yeah, you put it in sports mode, it becomes alive. But just the normal setting, you feel like from 0 to 40, it's not doing much. Where it does provide excitement is when you go a little bit faster. That's when the engine comes alive. And yeah, let's give it a shot in the corner here. Oh yeah, see, but I'm driving it slow and it's just not giving me enough excitement. But yeah, like I said, at higher speeds, maybe in sports mode, yes, it does come alive. But one of the things that I like about the MG5, and surprisingly anyway, because I didn't know what to expect, it's the first time I'm driving an MG5 anyway, is its ride and handling. The handling, for instance, around the corner, oh my god, I feel like it is planted. The body doesn't move around so much, it feels controlled. And yeah, and I especially like it because that handling doesn't mean stiff suspension. The ride is quite nice, it's pliant, hitting potholes and stuff like that. It just absorbs it. This is quite surprising. I definitely did not expect that from the MG5. So like I said, for daily drives, low speed in the city, you can have a bit of fun. Yes, you can, and yeah, you won't be bothered about the bad roads. And yeah, usually people don't get this right, you know. You either have stiff suspension and the ride is bad, and yeah, it's something like what Proton can provide. And yeah, I like that the ride and handling is quite sorted in this car. It's just that at lower speeds, if you're trying to accelerate, yeah, you might just feel like you're tempted to just slap it in sports and go for it, and that's only when it starts going. Also, that 8-speed virtual transmission, I don't know, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work, but most of the time if you just slap it in sports mode, you'll be alright. But like I said, for day-to-day driving, this car is quite solid. I like it. Just doesn't rattle or anything like that. The NVH is surprisingly good too. Like I said, I didn't know what to expect, but I like the NVH in this car. It's quiet, I don't feel really vibrations. I'm going over some bad roads now and I feel quite comfortable driving the MG5. So yeah, well done to MG for that. It's not that everything that can get it right, but they've got pretty much that aspect of the car quite right. So if you're looking for a sedan that is stylish, spacious and easy to drive, then the MG5 is definitely worth considering. Sure, it doesn't have a turbo and all of that, but it is practical and spacious. I also like how it drives, the ride and handling is quite good, and yeah, I think for daily drives, this is quite a good solid choice. So that's it for this review. I want to know what you think. Is the MG5 on your hit list? Let me know in the comments. Thank you very much for watching till the end. Why not give us a subscribe and hit a like if you want more of these kind of reviews. Till the next one, I'm Adam Aubrey. See you later.